says wake up and get yourself to church, it reminds me of back in the days yenye ilikuwa when it's Sunday. Now Sunday is Sunday and you have to get yourself to church bwana this Sunday. Now this is some conversation yenye ama some words that tungezoea na your grandmother, and then after your grandmother also the parents the before millennials au pia walikuwa watu wa kusema twende kanisa. Siku hizi I wake up on Sunday, I'm making my way to church. Hata vijana wanacheza mpira hapo nje and I'm like where pool bana unapata nani watoto wadogo. And then it's like like people are just doing anything nikashangaa.
Like pale pool table pale nje ya gym. Ameamkia pool table.
Like napita hivi home watoto wadogo wako hapo wanacheza brikicho asubuhi and I'm like where did the culture go to? Kitambo angalia hata Christmas. Ndio tunaingia December after this weekend after nini? Christmas unaona hizo picha zinatumwa za kitambo za Christmas. Pale kasanglas fulani ya mia.
Sasa lazima nisitafute this Christmas by the way.
I must trend.
Lazima.
You don't want to avoid culture.
My mom used to put me the most outrageous outfits. I can't lick my childhood pictures. I'll go down, bro.
I'm waiting. But Steve, I have this feeling. I'm waiting for that day when I totally make it like this sort of BN making it type of shit. No, you get. Oh, I should have said that one. But you could make it your design so that I can pull up that album. Your album iko mahali. Kipigwa na vumbi, andika and I'm like sitting this side. Lakini I'll use it to see. So we have here huko. And this is
Auto.
And what about now we're going to have that conversation. Tunaenda kuingia into raising awareness about something that is actually going on. Now it's in the medical field and he mentioned like, okay, but now we're trying to understand the depth of it. And our guest for today has arrived. Kuna sisi alisikia our previous conversation akiwa tuna sisi hapa vizuri pole polite na sasa tunaingia into the world of medicine, world of nursing na nini. Aldrine Ondeu, habari ya asubuhi?
Nzuri sana na mkafiti jua tu mkali.
Wewe umepata jua?
Pata jua. Nje kuna jua na
hebu ni
kuna sweaters.
Ya mkia wapi?
Ndio sweaters zimejaa.
Kama tu wewe angalia tu uko like
Super cool.
Mimi nichukua tu hii kit yangu strong iko peke yake. I have to wear it by the way. I have
to team, mimi team kubwa.
Hapana.
Amesema team kubwa.
Uone maybe hapa kitu ndani.
Anyway, sisi become a home amkia different dish at river. We love it ama nichue yako imekuja later sisi tukingangana saa moja. We don't know.
Kulikuwa ni baridi.
Yeah, it's lovely that kuna jua hapo nje tutatoka hapa tukiwa excited. So you're feeling good?
Yes, I'm good. I'm happy to be here and looking forward to the conversation.
So just a quick introduction about Aldrine.
Okay, so my name is Aldrine. I'm 26 years. Nursing is my second career. My first one is in real estate and property management. I'm a fourth year student at Daystar Nursing. I was also the former treasurer for the Daystar University Nursing Association. And most recently, we have been part of a campaign to stop antimicrobial resistance. So we have been teaming up with a committee comprising of nursing students, environmental health students, and also biomedical students. Yes. That's what I am.
And now you've mentioned about antimicrobial resistance. Before we even talk about it, let us understand it. What is antimicrobial resistance? What are these guys who are resisting things?
Okay, so in the very simple terms, we know like when we fall ill, there's something that causes the illness. It can be like a parasite, it can be fungi, it can be a variety of things. But so what has happened over time, these microbials, or what you can call germs in layman language, have started resisting the use of drugs. Like this is why you see people are going to hospital and they're like, no medicine is working at the moment. So you keep adding, you level up sort of like you go from stage 1 to stage 2 of medication and they're still not working. And the issue has been most people just go to the pharmacy. They tell the pharmacist, either ugonjwa yangu inasikianga tu amoxil. Ati mimi ninajijua anajitambua na ninatumianga ni amoxil.
Nipatie ile ya blue, ile box ya blue ile.
Tumianga hiyo. Exactly. So akishaanza kufanya hivyo alafu mwingine anasema niko na mtoto, hii dawa ikiishi watatumia first born hadi last born. And they don't have the same diseases. Na wajaenda kupimwa. This is not even a funny issue, but Ifanye ukifikiria actually I'm self-aware. Mnakuwa self-aware hadi kwa madam.
So Aldrin, before talking about the causes,
Mm-hmm.
just the total understanding about what exactly now that is the resistance.
Oh, like it's like let's say you remember like in Mau Mau era, the way the Africans resisted against the colonialists. So this is the same thing the bacteria and fungi and all these disease-causing organisms are doing. It's like they are pulling up an army and saying no to drugs. You're not going to feel anything. Even if you add the dosage, even if you take the drugs for longer, we have already changed how we look. It's like you meet someone today and you are used to their name being so and so. Then the next time you find they have changed their shape and their form and everything. So if the drug comes to the body, it does not work anymore.
Good sentiments right there. And what causes this antimicrobial resistance?
Okay.
Umesema nini? Macrobial. Antimicrobial.
So tuongee na daktari.
Okay, so the very causes zinaanza tuna hizi vitu tumesema basic kama hiyo kutomaliza dosage ya dawa, sharing of medication, hadi the very basic not washing your hands. Unakula tu hivyo food bila kuosha.
So not washing your hands can cause that?
Yeah, because the bacteria will be like, okay, I see you're not taking care. The bacteria will be like, oh. They also have their own mechanism of working. So vinaanza kukua wajanja. Unaona umeweka roadblock hapa, unakuta the other side. Also, the farmers are also contributing to this. This is the way we are injecting the chicken with antibiotics. Like, hatutaki kuku zetu zikuwe very slender ama the normal weight of a chicken. So tunaongeza dawa ndo zisipe na hizo homa sijui nini. So by the time this medication is being put into your body, the body is already resisting. You ishatumia dawa before ikuwe na any illness.
So unataka kuniambia hizi mboga tunanunua huko nje, kuku za zitwa layers ama zitwa nini hizo zile zenye unachemsha? Unajua the normal kienyeji kuku unachemshanga
na
take time. But if you take this kuku za within 5 minutes imeshayeyuka, so you want to tell me that also causes AMR?
Yeah, because like the things these farmers are doing is not the right thing. Like it's like they're thinking if my chicken doesn't fall ill, it will be very fat and have the right weight. So what I'll do, I'll tell the vet to come and inject them in advance before they develop any illness. So this chicken is like already when you're eating the chicken meat, it already has the antibiotics. It's like the chicken is also sort of like medicine. So before you even develop the illness, you already have the medication in your body and the illness is not even there. So what happens, this bacteria starts changing their form to adapt to. By the time you now take the medication for the illness, they are already ready.
Like kuku za Sonford.
Yes. Somehow you can take chicken that hasn't been medicated prior.
Kuku pono.
Or unafanya some.
Kuna shida.
I think I need to see this lawyer girl. After this show. A lot of questions about chickens I need to know, and she seems to understand a lot.
Good chicken family.
Yeah. I hear you have a committee.
Yes, we have a committee. Our chairperson is called Alex Mushai. He's a biomedical student. But for the other post, we just show up. We don't know who's the treasurer or the secretary general. But we have been running campaigns since last week. Every Tuesday, we've been having webinars with various stakeholders in the health sector. The very first one we had George, the chairperson, Professor George, the chairperson of the Daystar board, because he's also a pharmacist and he understands everything to do with pharmaceuticals and their contribution to the antimicrobial resistance.
Are you part of that committee?
Yes, I am.
Are there other members?
Yeah, there are various members. We have we try to distribute amongst the sciences in the school. So we have 4 people from the School of Nursing, 4 people from biomedical, and maybe 1 or 2 from environmental health.
Quick one on what you guys are doing.
Yes.
It's awareness, but from there, tell us more about what you guys have done or are planning to do. That's a quick one.
Okay, so one of the various things we have done, we started with the webinars. So every Tuesday, we have been holding talks with various stakeholders, having the community members also included in the conversation. But for the first webinar, it was specifically for medics, because we were thinking, what is our contribution as nurses, as biomedical, as pharmacists towards this pandemic, because we are calling it the silent pandemic. Then after the webinars, we also had it's like a one-on-one interaction during Cultural Week. We had a booth at the PSC where we were talking to people and asking them, what do you think about this illness? What do you think is a microbe, and creating awareness in the society. Then last week on Saturday, we also had a walk in collaboration with the UON pharmacy students, and we walked all the way along Gong Road, Jamhuri, all those areas, talking to the community members, asking them, what do you think is a microbe? Do you self-medicate? What do you do when you feel you have a cough and things like that? So one of the things you were saying, amoxicillin si dawa ya homa. I know most people don't know like which medicine treats what. So what happens? You just start coughing and you think, amoxicillin. You go and buy and you tell the pharmacist, nataka amoxicillin. Una hii ya red na black. Sitaki hiyo ya red, nataka ile ya black na. Exactly.
Amesema hivi as we head over to the time ya break. Nikakumbuka the high school era. Sijui high school yako kulekaa hivi. I'm telling you my school class. Munaenda hivi sasa atakuja saa yake jioni. Atakuja saa yake jioni. And then akikuja kuna line hapo nje. Acha nijaribu kuimitate accent yake. Because he used to make jokes zenye ungefikiria kama ni matusi hiyo ni shida yako, but all of us just knew it jokes. Na wewe muombe, shida yako ni gani sasa hivi? Naumwa na tumbo. Achukua hii. I think that was Piriton. They used to have yellow pills ndogo hapa na za white hapa. He would like guess. Chukua hapa mbili hapa moja.
Makosa iko kwa
wewe yako ni gani? Nasikia ni gani mumo na kichwa siku mbili, chukua hapa hivi. Yako ni gani? Kizunguzungu kwa chukua ile. The same pills. Mimi nakwambia nilikuwa na train nikavunjika mguu kidogo hapa, nasikia chukua hii dawa. Enda class. Nini? Bana.
Baya Piriton kama ni
aje.
Hapo ni Mungu alikuwa anatuokoa timu.
The placebo effect. Ni kama tu hadi unaweza pea mgonjwa maji but ana feel like you have taken care of them, they'll get better. Yeah, inaitwa placebo effect. So hadi for students, you can't tell if the pain is psychological.
So it's all mental.
So
that's the one tied to the pregnancy that apparently is like a ghost pregnancy.
Placebo. Mtu ametamani kwa mama for so long.
No.
So anaanza ku-experience. Anaanza na vomiting kidogo, anasema nasikia kama kitu inasonga.
Is it like the person is expecting a money?
It's a mental thing, like you anxiety, like you're so eager to have a baby. So hadi anaenda hosi, anafanyia ultrasound, there's no baby.
You have the symptoms and everything, but you actually have no child.
It's because you can train your mind to do anything you want. So that's, I think, the same thing nurses used to do in school. They'll just like work with your mind because they don't know if you want to go home. They don't know if you're actually sick.
Have you ever had a pregnancy scare? Talk about pregnancy. Alafu uifikirie. Ama hata hizi ile these other infections. Alafu uifikirie utakuwa hiyo mgonjwa. Hiyo inakuwa kichwa itakuuma. Even just think about TI, think about STI, think about nini.
Don't think about
even I saw like if you maybe like okay, this is just a quick fun fact yenye niliona mahali, nobody to take it hivi but ile yenye maybe for the girls by the way, because it's for the girls. But if at all you know very well at this particular time of the month, this is my periodic time, I need a periodic time. Na ni kama imechelewa, unaanza kuambiwa fikiria about it or sit with someone mwenye ameifikia. And then itakuja. I'm like, hiki tu kwangi tu na time inakuja inakutesa na nini.
Ukikuwa friends for so long.
Is it even medically?
I don't know the explanation, but it's happened sometimes. If you hang out with someone for so long.
We used to call it Bluetooth.
Imanash. Ruka pale. Okay, no, it's not yet to past the top of the hour. We're going to take a quick break. Continue staying with us in this conversation that we But yes, we're still having this conversation. We've understood about what and the what causes. And now next we are just going to look at the statistics that we're having. Then we'll look at the depth of it and is this thing really that dangerous? We need to just raise awareness. We're going to have that conversation after the break. So keep it Shine FM 99.9. Good morning, this is Child FM. We're still in the studio now. I wish this conversation was part of what would have been talking about on air, kwa sababu watu hapo wamecheka, sijui whether tunarudi back the conversation.
My people's hearts.
Anyway, now back to the serious conversations. Now, Aldrin,
Yes.
acha nisome some statistics. Yesterday we had this conversation and I saw these statistics somewhat. Tunachika nikasahau kufungua.
Simu ni ile.
Simu ni ile. I believe. Nilikuwa mahali hapa. Nilicheka nikaenda. Acha kudaibisha.
Sema tu simu yangu ni aina hii tukuelewe. Explain to the listeners. Tuambie bro.
Hapa.
Wakija mbele vitangu.
Simu inaenda live. Usikose chakula na hizi. Tap.
Yes.
Unlike the phone, tuseme I have great memory. Now, part of the conversation was, first of all, in the world, 1 out of 3, 1 out of kumaanisha a third of the people in the world sasa, there are people who, in one way or another, their bodies have started, the bacteria that they get, zile zenye ni drug resistant, as resistant. And then when it came to Africa, bro, 70% of Africans imekuwa
kama wani.
Sasa kwa sababu I don't have more statistics about it, wacha kwanza ninyamaze na niulize what is the danger of this trend. Na pia kuna time walieka, I think it was from 2020 to 2023, ama it was 2023 to current, walisema it is growing. Now initially it was like a 50%, this statistics, na inafika mahali inafika 70 ama 75. What are the dangers of seeing such statistics?
Okay, so do you remember like ilikuwa last year hapo kuna time walianza rumors za super gonorrhea and things like that. Unga venye ilishtua watu. Because this is like a disease that does not listen to medicine. Kama tu zile tulikuwa tunasikia ati hii ugonjwa hii imekataa dawa. So that's the danger. So first there'll be increased deaths because you can imagine if we are giving you medication and nothing is happening to your disease, like you're not getting any better. Then the other risk, you can imagine for people who need to undergo surgery, like women giving birth. Maybe someone has gotten an injury. Then after that, they get an infection and the infection cannot be cured. What can happen to them? They can even go to a higher level of illness. They can even get admitted for so long and the cost is also high. We know here in Africa and healthcare is one of those problems we encounter. And also it has come at a point when the United States aid and all those NGOs that used to sort of subsidize health have withdrawn. And that like it's now time for Africa and all these countries to start taking their healthcare as a personal issue and to look for funds within the government and things like that. So the dangers is that there'll be increased readmission. Like someone is discharged, they go home, they are not well, so they have to come back to hospital. And it is also an increased cost to the healthcare.
So with all these issues, what are the medics doing to tackle it?
Okay, so there is like a whole team of biomedical scientists and researchers. They're not like even looking into herbal medicine. They're looking to how we can be eating so that we don't get ill. Like we are not looking for natural remedies sort of. You're also creating awareness because you notice that if one person is aware, you can even tell your mom, no, don't use the same medication that was used on my sister for me. I need to go and get tested. But then you also notice, in as much as you're saying all these things, cost is also an important factor. Because if you go and talk to the very grassroots people, they'll tell you, I would have loved to go to hospital, but where do I get the fare? Where do I, like, if there was a way to subsidize the cost, they'll have even gotten better medication. But the cost is one of the...
It's a systematic issue.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think individuals should do to tackle this problem?
Okay, so like I have already said, that's creating awareness and knowing that I should not take medication without a prescription. You're also thinking about how regulations can be put into place to ensure that we have better better regulation of pharmacies and all those things. Because you notice, you can even go to a pharmacy and you realize even the one selling you medication is just a business person.
Actually, wanted to ask.
Okay.
Yes.
Before, well, I wanted to interject before to let it back, yeah? when we talk about individuals, and then you told us about raising awareness and then improving also Nini, that sounds more like government. Individuals, let us bring it down to the uninformed, the person we are talking to. Not even you as a person. Let's say you have knowledge about it, but now that one person who akisikia kichwa imeuma umekimbia tu kwa random duka na yeye mwenyewe ashakuwa daktari. You talked about that as a problem. We talked about also the problem of people underdosing themselves or even overdosing. So now these people, those are the individuals that team is trying to talk about. What should they do?
Okay, they should just, the very basic stop. Like, you should not take medication unless you have been given a prescription. But we, like, in our own analysis, we realize that if we are dealing with an individual, it will take like forever. If we can start with the government and these other bigger bodies, like trying to protect these people who have no control over their medication, it will be better than starting with the individual going to the entire population.
So, Aldrine, I wanted to ask, nikiwa na kichwa hivi, is it okay for me to just go and buy a paracetamol pop? It's not.
No, it's not, because even painkillers, over time, your body gets used to them. And now the same medication that maybe you used to take one tablet of paracetamol and your headache is over. But over time, your body also understands that when I'm feeling pain, I'll be given this amount of drug. So over time, your body can also become immune to the painkiller. That's why you find, like, for people who are used to maybe abusing some of these painkillers like morphine, if they're going into surgery, there's no medication that can put them off. They'll just be awake through the surgery. So avoid abusing medications too.
Wow.
So I'm having this imagination that whenever there's a reason why tunaonanga dawa ya mende zikichange over time. There's a reason why tunaona dawa ya homa pia zikiwa improved over time and changes. Kama tumesema pia one company inaweza kuwa kuna zile dawa za red and then kuna hizi mpya za blue. Now, apart from that, because I know that is one way in which they're dealing with this problem, will there ever be a day, are we heading into times where hadi dawa ya kuimprove tu imekuwa ngumu because hizi drugs zimekuwa, hizi bacteria ama fungi zimekuwa fully now resistant? Will we ever reach that such a time? And now try to give us a picture of if we reach such a time that is doomed. For example, the statistic is 75%, which is growing. Fike mahali everyone akona bacteria that is drug resistant. Try and give us that picture now. How will it look like?
Okay, so you can imagine like an entire army is rising up. No, this is the army of the antimicrobes and those disease-causing agents. So they are getting stronger than the human body, the immunity, the medication you're giving it. So what will happen? There'll be increased diseases, like there'll be increased number of people who are ill, and there's nothing much you can do. So that's why we are trying to create awareness and to stop these diseases from getting to that level, because we don't know what else we'll do. That's why we are even looking to moving away from medication to like making food our own way of dealing with our illnesses. We are also looking into herbal medicine and also trying to like create an environment where people cannot get ill easily. That's why we are trying to ask farmers, please stop using antibiotics into the plants and the animals and all those things, because we are trying to do step by step prevention, because we don't know how we'll handle it. And you see, like, health is one of those things that no one wishes they were ill, no one wishes they will become sick. So we don't want a situation where the health burden is so high because the illnesses have increased. So we are trying to like level it and try to even reverse if we can, using technology and medication and things like that, so we don't get to that.
Na kuna hiyo swali nikauliza ya kwanza, will we ever get to the point where nyinyi mmeshindwa sasa nikisema nyinyi maanisha pharmacists, medics, imefika mahali sasa kupata now revolved drug, a new age drug ya sasa kudeal na this resistance. Tutafika point where sasa hata imekuwa ngumu kupata that sort of drug ya kuchange into.
So like that's our biggest fear, but we know like that's why we are trying to not get to that point. But if we get to that point, I don't know what we can do, because unless there's more research and like a way to reverse the effects of those diseases, because you can imagine if someone is constantly having a disease they can't treat with medication, you see the frustration in that will like make the medical system become crippled and unable to help the population. So we are really hopeful that we don't get to 100% of diseases are resistant. That's our hope, but
Asante. So you told us about, Cecil told us about Africa being the worst hit with this pandemic, EMR.
Yeah.
So which factors are contributing to Africa being the worst?
Okay, I can start with the very top, regulation. You see, in other countries, we can't even get paracetamol without a prescription. But come to Africa, it's a whole business. I'm like, why would I stay with medication without giving it to people if they give me money? So the first issue is regulation. The second one, we also, like as Africans, we don't take care of our health unless you are sick. Even if I ask everyone here, when was the last time you had a checkup? It can be last year when you had a scare. It felt like, come on, na tumbo niko na ulcers. Like without
Corona.
we don't do those things of health promotion. Atufanyi ati acha niende nifanyiwe check up. Hiyo ni vitu za watu wadosi. So that is another issue, like our attitude towards illness and disease. Sisi tunakuwa tu tumechill, siumwi na kichwa, niko fiti. Mbona niende nipime weight?
So we can attribute it to poverty yake.
Yeah, also
We can't
poverty.
Na
afford.
kuwa nini mahospitali sha sijui
Unafika nasa amekuwekelea kofi. Nini ni wewe? Unadhani wengine hawana shida?
Panga line hapa.
So
Uko na insurance, hauna unalipa 500.
Imagine.
Like tuseme tu pia.
issues also, I think, are our leading problems.
I'm telling you, ushagoni ukitaka wakati umekuwa mgonjwa unataka kufika hospitali. Na moja iko hapo, ndio hapo tembea fika pale mbele, mlango yake ni Kaleso. And then from there sasa the next hospital, and then if you want a serious one,
Na your leaders
Kimkia di
never
Maseno ama
bottom.
nini. Na the leaders wanapewa hapo.
Unapata maybe kuna facility na hadi hakuna mtu ana run anything.
Ni
Nasikia
duka tu.
tuko na X-ray, but hakuna radiologist. So those are some of the
Chulu Shagoi think radiologists ni myth. Na
Unaambiwa enda
radiologists
Kisumu.
una travel hadi Nairobi KNH all the way from your
and you are dying.
Kwa maana statistics Africa ziko juu hivyo.
Because of our systems and the way they run.
Crazy.
But what if Africa turudi tuanze kutumia herbal medicine? I don't know.
Or a herbal medicine is better. Wewe sasa ndio pharmacist hapa unatafuta.
Like it's like still research that's ongoing. Just so unajua hizo drugs pia to do the mechanism. And it's sort of secret. Like if you even ask your grandmother, how did you come up with this medication for stomachache? They'll be like, mababu.
You know what? This has been lovely medical insights from medical professionals. And so, yani nishakuwa mgonjwa.
Na vile team in every conversation. Acha kaza sio hata before team uli. Team in every conversation with them. Wapata team imefika point amenyamaza. And then akikuja anasema like I've learned. Anashtuka. Aleko like we kumbe iko hivi like
A good listener, ametoka hapo na James of but bombardas.
Kama listeners, tunasikiza in language. So I'm here to represent the listeners. And so as listeners, we're impressed, yes, by the course that you're doing. So my question is, how can we contribute to this course? Or is it just limited to medical students and professionals?
No, it's like a conversation you're having with everyone. Everyone is included. Starting from children to their mothers to the fathers, everyone is included in this conversation. And more specifically, the Gen Zs and everyone that is able to like spread the gospel. Like if you see someone telling you today, I feel so like I have a fever, please just tell them instead of going and getting medication, please kindly, I'm begging you, just go to a professional and ask them to check what it is. Maybe you're just standing in the sun for so long and you've already gone and bought a Moxie.
So you're saying the best way for us to participate in this course is to spread the awareness.
Yes.
Now, what about on a larger scale? How do you think private investors or the government can assist in your course?
Okay, so the government can, of course, give funding to such initiatives. We're also thinking of starting clubs and associations on the same cause. We're also like thinking of having maybe broader symposiums and having researchers come together to tell us as Africa, what can we do? Because we notice like in most medications and everything, Africans are always left out. If you go and do a random research, like the drugs were tested with a different race and you're in Africa. So chances are if you test a medication on a different race, what are the odds that it will work on Africans? So if we start our own way of doing our own things, like there's a speaker who talked to us on a Tuesday webinar, is saying that they're establishing a 400-acre pharmaceutical something in Naivasha. So you can imagine if we start to find solutions within ourselves so we cannot depend on others.
Could you please at least name one initiative that for sure they can actually like contribute to? Or you want funding for? Because they usually, they also say haba na haba ujaza kibaba. So us as
labda si haba.
I think it's a listener and we want to start contributing. So of course, if you have this one initiative set up or started, as we contribute and then now the investors come in and see, okay, so this is what has been done so far with the people behind you. So what's that one initiative?
Okay, for like at the moment we like to have clubs and associations in various high schools. And also we are thinking maybe if we have more funding, research is very capital intensive, we could set up more like research centers where we can even look into herbal medication, look into like there's also like the next seminar we'll be talking about how a certain virus can be eating up the bacteria. So imagine such research is very intensive. So if you can find people who will fund innovation and come up with new ways of solving these problems. So
is there a set date for your next webinar?
Yes, it's on Tuesday, is it 3rd? I know like
Third of December.
Yeah.
Somewhere
Or you make
Tuesday.
a specific date.
I think that will be a Wednesday.
Oh, so it's 2nd. I think it's 2nd December.
Or it just has to happen on a Tuesday.
Yeah, that's the date we chose. 7:30 to 8:30.
7:30 to 8:30. But my only request, as part of the listeners, is on that webinar, as you discuss the topic of the day or the theme of the day, you also include how like an actual plan of how they can contribute to
the progress
the project that you're planning to do. By then, so right now you communicate it, so we get it. So on that webinar, the people who join, just at least lay a single plan. Like this is the high school that we've decided we want to start with. We want to start with this is the principal's name and So maybe what we'll need for this time maybe is just transport or this and this. So and then at least we know what is necessary and then we can contribute and then next time we meet it's now also
We'll be
after every
checking
meeting
on
exactly.
Okay, yes, it's well understood.
Beautiful sentiments too.
Yaani nafika mahali sasa ni sisi ndio tumenyamaza tunajifunza.
So wisdom saying hata wahenga haamini.
Hapa tu tunasikiza.
Yes, we second that.
But we are hoping for a point whereby, because when we had that conversation about the effects, you're just trying to imagine, even you gave us that picture. But inaweza fika point unakuwa mgonjwa na unaomba tu Mungu, kimungu, hiyo ugonjwa yangu ihili tu kwa sababu hakuna madawa yenye inasaidia hii madawa nini. It's that sort of conversation that you're having about, for example, HIV, AIDS, whereby you're just told, this one incurable, maybe we can just suppress it, so that isifike hiyo point hadi na homa, isifike hiyo point hadi na because now imagine you're being tunaambiwa now to prevent homa, first of all, you need to abstain from going close to people. You need to be faithful to those who don't have homa. You need to we need to create. I think even you during the awareness campaign, you just try to make a way in which you put the scariest way possible during delivery.
Don't try to get the point.
Because it's like now being invaded with dragons and but kulingana na time bwana. Kuna parting shot ulikuwa unataka kusema?
Oh, okay. So like my parting shot is we can do like something small in our own circles. You don't have to start big. You can talk to the next person you meet. Maybe start a conversation about antibiotics and drugs and things like that. And try like to tell people, don't always run to take medication. First, analyze. Maybe your headache is because you haven't slept for the past 8 hours. Maybe your headache, you haven't drunk water. So we start with the very basic, like health promotion is better than health prevention.
Wonderful.
Other social that we can follow you on?
Oh, okay. So at the moment we have a LinkedIn page. I think it's called Daystar AMR Awareness.
It's actually such a big topic in the school.
Yeah, but you have been like sharing information constantly.
We can make it a big topic in the school.
Yeah.
If you have a LinkedIn, it means
Tim is a philosopher. we can have that solution. By the way, why not?
If the school has a LinkedIn page, then it means it's a pandemic. Because me nikimwana kichwa say that's why I asked, do I go pop a paracetamol or my tummy is aching, which kwe ino? I don't even
let
want
me give you an undercover tip. Underworld tip.
All right.
ChatGPT.
Ushafunga.
I'm telling you. Medical professional. Excellent. Every time I have an injury that I do not understand or an illness that because I'm usually
I fixed my laptop last week. My laptop.
Those times it's not an illness that could touch you, it's symptoms. Like literally you have like 2 symptoms, and if you go to a doctor, even if you search, it's not an actual disease that has this. So you ask a ChatGPT or an AI, hey, my symptoms are this, I've been feeling this. You literally tell them exactly as you would a doctor.
Daktari unasikia hizi vitu.
Proper stuff.
By the way,
I've not used my medical insurance for a while because I usually go straight to the chemist. I'm like, nipe paracetamol 7,000 ml, 5 tablets.
But little prep mapema akatuambia he might speak as the bad guy, by the way, so that he raises the
devil's advocate.
But it was really nice having this conversation with you, Aldrine, and we've gotten a lot of insight. Even Tim agreed to it, and as long as Tim has agreed to it, I'm taking it as the truth. By the way,
Rubber stamped.
But I'm convinced Tim. Out of experience. Hiyo amesema tu hivyo kuonyesha there are people apart from kwenda kwa duka. There are people who are doing 1.3 million number.
Like no, check this will help you. I'm like, maybe talking about what helps you.
Mimi nataka.
Told me this will help you.
Nimeambia shida yangu yote imenianza chui. What? I meza for 7 days.
And like I do.
PM.
Short facing to the eyes.
Hey.
Tell mtu sema tuchukue hii regimen. Tim amesema
Nataka shindano niambia. Haya hajaniambia leo.
unataka kuniua. Sema propaganda.
We have more about that conversation. By the way, guys, a quick one. Now that it's 10, it was nice, really nice having you too. Because Nishambi Alden, thank you. You guys, I think this is the best combination. Pewa award yetu tu sahi.
See to God, it was science.
Immediately.
It was science.
Okay. Ambieni mafans kaheri.
It was lovely having all you guys here. Cecil, Aldrine, Tim, thank you so much. This was such an insightful conversation. Giggles, education, sensitization,
Civic education.
everything in
Mona
between.
standard wameita by election. By election. Wamenunua election.
Sarcasm at bets wamenunua.
And then there's another picture of someone casting a vote but anacast thou ndani.
Imagine.
By election. So by
EY.
Team is learning.
I can't get the job.
Hapana.
By
Election.
Yeah, so much about civic education, and hopefully pia tutaendelea na that much conversation. Team, okay, ambia fans kwa heri mbio before we go to the next show. Shine FM.
So niwaambie kwa heri.
Yeah, itabidi.
Sasa
Unataka kuendelea na.
Ukishasema niwaambie, so washasikia, kwa hivyo washajua nimwambia.
Wewe si wewe. Pia umewaambia, lazima kwa mgumu.
You can't be direct. No, you
can't. Team. Chukua microphone.
Anyways, I'm just missing to maneno mengi. So goodbye. Catch us same time, same place right here. Shine FM 9.9 every Friday morning.
Yes, and kuifunga. My name is Sasiledi na tumefurahia sana kwa na you guys since the start till now. Next week also more conversation. We raise things and we tell you how they're happening as it is kwa ground. Continue giving us your views about everything we've discussed. Yes, we've done it live here, and also it will be posted online so that you can, if maybe we'll go a class and we'll go somewhere else, you can get to also engage with us in our conversation. Follow Shine FM at Shine FM 99.9 at any social media platform you're thinking about. Yenye utatupata utuambie, hata substract tuko hapo, enda hapo utatupata huko. And also continue enjoying the conversation with us. Next week tupatane tena, but kwa sasa enjoy your weekend. Mimi wacha niende pale Stamford Bridge karibishe Arsenali. Arsenali. See you next time. This is Shine FM.
Best team in the world is Arsenal.